Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Grin. Today I'm going to be doing a little quick tutorial. Well, I'm not sure about quick. We're going to see how long this takes. But basically I'm just going to be explaining to you guys how to get started with designing. Recently I've had a lot of people try to, or contact me, or at least try to contact me about where and how to start designing. Now, I mean, of course, you're going to need a few softwares, which I will include in the description, and a lot of these are pretty pricey, so I'd watch out. But yeah, so what I use personally is Photoshop CC. That's the newest version of Photoshop. I know a lot of people still use CS5 or CS6 even, but I personally like Photoshop CC. And I would highly recommend you getting CC, but I mean, they're all basically the same. Only CC has a few new tweaks and other things in that nature. It's just like a newer Photoshop. That's basically what it is. But yeah, you're gonna need Photoshop. Like I said, recommend CC. You're going to need Cinema 4D. That's also a pretty pricey software. That's basically just like turning things into 3D and things of that nature. And you're also it would also help to get Adobe AI, which is Adobe Illustrator. That's also that's more like Photoshop, but it's a bit more freelance. If you I don't know. It's basically just another version of Photoshop, but it is also needed. It helps quite a bit. So basically, this is Photoshop. Up here you have your little categories and such, file edit, all that good stuff. On the left here, basically it's gonna look like that. On the left here, you're gonna have all your tools. These are all gonna be important. On the right over here, this is your layers tab. So yeah, that's kind of just the layout of a regular Photoshop. So we're gonna go up here. I'm gonna go File, New. Today I'm gonna be doing an AVI tutorial, which is a pop-out logo. So we're just gonna name this AVI tutorial. Really, the width and the height, you want to put it on pixels and keep it, in this margin. But with AVIs, you do want to make it at least a square, so like the height and the width have to be like the same number basically. But honestly, this can be pretty much whatever. I don't recommend going over 900, but I wouldn't recommend going below like 600. So somewhere in those dimensions, but I do recommend 900 by 900. That's what I use with everything. So, then you're gonna want to make the background contents white. That's just how I do it. Color mode RGB color, it should be already like that. The 8-bit or 16-bit, you choose what you would want. It just basically just makes the file bigger or smaller and harder to, or it just takes longer to like save and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter too much. So we're gonna just hit OK or hit Enter. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so it's gonna come up to something like this. You're gonna have a lock right there, and it's white. So we're going to double click on the background and to unlock it. Okay, so now it's a regular layer. We're gonna come over here and so we're gonna go ahead and open a PSD file, which means Photoshop document. It's the file that edits everything that you want to edit everything with. I'm going to include this in the description. Phase logo. You can also pick up a handful of different PSDs and GFX packs. The Zerzify, it's a decent one. Not gonna lie, it's not the best, but there are plenty of different GFX packs which I do recommend you getting very quickly, because they do help a lot. They have stocks and other images that you could put together. It makes some things just look better. Okay, so you want to open your phase PSD if you want to follow along. You're gonna want to grab. Okay, you're gonna want to highlight the phase logo, the layer logo, layer 1, and then you're gonna want to hold Control or Shift, doesn't either one, and then you're gonna click on the text, and that'll, you know, it'll highlight them together. I'm gonna go back up here and grab your Move tool. This is gonna be extremely key. There's also V. You can hit V, and then I'll go to the Move tool. But I don't really use hotkeys for anything over here. But I will get into hotkeys more a little bit later. So I'm gonna drag. Basically just hold it and then drag it up and go over your layer that you want to go to, and then just drop it. Okay, so I made 2. Okay, and then you're just gonna want to size this to where it's, you know, kind of in the middle. About right there is fine. You're gonna want to drop this down. I will include a few font packs that I do recommend. It does have this font in it. It's exclusively the phase font. It's not what it's called, but it's like the only team that uses this font. Each team really has like a specific font, but honestly it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I will include a lot of fonts in the description as well, and that I do actually, like, you're gonna need a lot of fonts, so you might want to, you know, get some space. Or well, fonts don't really take much space in a you know, just cut that off. Anyway. So what we're gonna start off with, this is our phase logo. This is the actual logo, and this is the text and effects. I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm just gonna hide all that. Okay, so you're gonna go to File, Open. I'm also going to include this picture in the description as well. So just grab everything, and you will be able to follow along. We're going to do. Picture do I want to do? This is it's a bit tricky. Just kind of let's go with the bird. Okay. Is that open? Okay. So now that you opened this bird looking thing, you're going to want to unlock the layer, and this is the fun part. This is the fun part, guys. You're going to want to come over here and click the little pen dropper icon, or you can hit P on the keyboard. It does the same exact thing. Like I said, it's another hotkey. And basically, you're just gonna want to click all around the place, or the stuff that you want to cut out. So pretty much, you're gonna want to start like down here. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. The hotkey that I'm using to zoom in and out is you hold Control Alt and you zoom in and zoom out, and it'll zoom in and zoom out. That's actually really important. Let's get down a little bit. So pretty much, you're just gonna want to start at a nice little starting place, and then basically just go all around the logo. Now, if you just click like that, you see it's a straight line. But the thing that we were going to want to be cutting out isn't exactly straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to click it, and we're going to drag it a little bit until it looks, like straight, until it like lines up pretty accurately with the the thing we're cutting out. Now, if you go ahead and click again, you see how it like goes with the curve. To get that out, you're going to click Alt, you're going to hold Alt, and then go over the point that you just made that you don't want to add a curve to. You're going to click on it, and then come over here and make another curve, and it's just going to like restart pretty much. So I would recommend you using like this technique, but you can also just like do a lot of little clicks, but that takes more time, and it doesn't look as good. So I'm gonna whatever. So I'm probably just gonna speed this part up. Just go ahead and go all around the logo, or all around the picture, I should say, and get back to me when we're done. You guys, by the way, I completely forgot to mention this. If you mess up with a point, you can also come up here to the history, and you can look at everything you've done, but it doesn't go back extremely far. I mean, it does go pretty far, but especially when you're cutting out like this, if you make a mistake, you pretty much want to fix it right away. But you can instead of just going all the way up to history, you can also hit Control Alt and Z, and it will undo what you just did. So, say you needed this to curve a little bit more, and it was just a straight line or something. Just hit Control Alt Z, and then it'll undo it, and then you can try again. You can do this as many times as you like, as long as the history will allow you. So yeah, that's that. Like I said, it won't undo everything you've done, but it'll do a lot. But make sure, but when you're cutting it out, it does take a lot of space per se. So that's good. Okay, guys, when you run into this problem, where it overlaps each other, and then the background's inside and you can't get it really in there, don't worry about that. You can, after you're finished cutting out the whole entire thing, just make sure you go back and get those little parts, just so you don't forget them. So just don't worry about the little the extra little bits in here. It won't really matter much. You can just do all this later. Do all that later. And remember to, whenever you do a curve, always remember to alt-click the point you just made. I didn't know that you could do that until a few months ago. So, and whenever you're cutting anything out in the future and for this tutorial, if it looks if what you're cutting out and the background kind of blend together, kind of up in this corner right here, it's okay to guess. It's okay to guess where it is, because I'll get to that in a bit. So it's okay to guess where your thing is, but the inside of the bird is so bright, you really can't miss it. But there is a bit of a black stroke to this, meaning there is a little bit of a black outline. I'll get into all that effects later. But whenever in the future, when you are wanting to cut something out, make sure, or at least try to get a picture that has a little black outline to it. That always helps. Especially, it always helps with cutting out, just because it just comes out a little bit better, because you have a little bit more space to work with, rather than just a regular picture, having to cut out all the different colors in it and stuff. It just helps. It's just easier. So. And also, guys, try not to make your lines too short, because like I said, if you did it, if you did really little lines, or really little, or you know what I mean, you didn't do the curves and stuff, and you just did really quick clicks. Try to refrain from making so short of anchor, whatever. I don't know how to explain that. Paths. There we go. That's the word. Try not to make the anchor points so close together. I mean, you can go as close as you possibly need to, but try to refrain from going super close, because if you do, it'll come out pretty choppy, and that doesn't really look good with a lot of things. I'm just gonna say. So just try to stay away from being choppy with it. Always try to give it a little bit of a flow. It pretty much makes everything look a lot better, in my opinion. And if you haven't noticed yet, the longer you drag the two endpoints out, the more affected. I don't remember the word exactly for that. The more intensity there is to the curve. So if it's shorter and you move it, it's not, you know, too much. But if it's more and you move it, it's a bit. So, and also, like when you unclick it, like you stop clicking and you made a curve, you can also hold Control and then go back into one of your to your two anchor points, or your two curve points, and you can do around like that. And also, if you want to go back and fix a curve, but you don't want to, you know, go all the way back and, you know, do history and Control Z, you can also just go down to any anchor point and Control, and then click it, and then it'll bring up your curve points, and you can edit them from there. That's also really helpful. And also, guys, try to use some original pictures. I just thought about this. Try to use some original pictures when doing any work at all. I mean, a lot of the pictures that I use, I get from you know, Google Images, but still, you're gonna try to be kind of original with everything. I mean, you don't want to see the same phase AVI with the same Pikachu picture, or the same anything. You don't want to see the same logo or AVI like every time. So try to like get some cool ideas and cool pictures already set out in your mind. What I do, I found this out about 2 weeks ago from my buddy Triton. I mean, because I've seen so many people get all these like really cool like pictures and, you know, things that they cut out, and it looks good, and it looks like this kind of like stuff in this nature. I started doing like this more style here like really recently. If you Google, go to Google Images and then type in psychedelic, that's PSYCADELIC, I believe, psychedelic wallpapers, and it'll have a bunch of stuff in this nature. And also, when you're getting images, try to get a wallpaper if you can. That always helps. Instead of just typing in, you know, if you want to get Raven, just don't type in Raven, because more than likely the file is going to be really small. And you always want to get a pretty big file, at least a file about higher than what you did over here, which is 900 by 900. So you kind of want to do something, you know, bigger. And also, I made this mistake within my first few weeks of designing. When you're downloading an image, I'll just go. I'll go grab one real quick, I guess. When you're looking for an image, you wanna you're gonna want to do something. You can't just find the image on Google Images and just and then, you know, right click and then save. You kind of want to do it a little funky. Oh, my Chrome isn't working right now. So you're gonna want to go to Google Images, and like I said, go to psychedelic. I think I spelled that right. No, I didn't. Apparently that's how you spell it. Okay, psychedelic. My computer's being stupid right now. Psychedelic wallpaper. Okay. I'm gonna go to images. Just like I said, looking for images and cool stuff. Like I said, you kind of want to make it kind of want to get it pretty big. If you hover over one of the pictures, I'm just gonna download this one real quick. You can see the dimensions, and these dimensions are pretty big. It's wallpaper size, and this is the kind of stuff that you want to grab. Is this size stuff? So you're gonna want, instead of just right-clicking and save, that's gonna make it this size. So it's not really gonna be 1900 by 1200. It's gonna be this size, which is probably only like 300 by something. I can't really tell. But so you're gonna click on it, and bring it up. Nope, not gonna save link or save image as. Nope, still not. You're gonna want to go to View Image, and sometimes it'll pull up a lot of times it'll pull this up, and it'll just give you the actual image, and then from here you can save image as. But sometimes it'll actually go to a website, and you can download it from there. They're both just fine. So that's how you save those images. instead of just, you know, it'll give you the actual dimensions and actual resolutions. So that's a really helpful thing that I didn't know my first few weeks of designing. So back to cutting. I know I've had to I've had to stop and talk for a few times, but back to cutting. Cutting probably takes the longest to cutting out an image is probably the longest process in the designing world, you could say. In the Photoshop process, it's the longest of the few. And sometimes even some like work that you do, probably later on down the road, you have to cut out multiple images. Like I'm doing some work now where I have to cut out many images, and it takes a long time. Okay, so as we're finishing this up, okay, so as you can see, we cut out everything that's inside of what we want. We want this colorful bit. So then, I mean, you're just gonna want to go back around the image and go back to your anchor point, make it so it makes a little circle, and so it finishes the path. So then you want to come inside the path. You're gonna want to right click, then go make selection, hit OK. And what I recommend to do, what I personally recommend to do, is grab this rectangular marquee tool, or you can hit M on the keyboard if you're into all that hotkey. You're gonna right click on it again, and then layer via cut. You can also, what you can also do, you can also select inverse and then delete, and that'll delete all the background, but I don't want to delete the background. The way I do things, I layer via cut, and then I use this background in the actual logo. I'll show you that in a second. So what we're going to want to do is do this. Actually, no, I forgot about all this that we still got to cut out. Well, not really all this, but you know what I mean. We still have a bit more to cut out. Okay, sorry guys. So you're going to come back down here, and then, you know, just cut out all this on the inside. See, that one didn't take so long because it's, you know, smaller. You're going to want to make selection again, go back to your marquee tool, you're going to layer via cut again, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to, you know, highlight the layer that you just cut out. It would be layer 2. You're going to hit Control and click on the background layer at the same time. So basically, you're selecting multiple. You can select multiple layers without, you know, selecting all in the middle. Because if you would have done Shift, it would have selected that as well, and we don't want to select that. So you're gonna Control click, right click, and then hit Merge Layers, and see how that's now that little bit is merged in with the background. And that's going to help later on when we're doing the actual AVI a little bit later. So that's going to help out. That's going to help out quite a bit. So just go in, and you're going to want to do that to everything. You're going to just want to merge it here. Finish this up. Okay. Make selection. Hit OK. Marquee tool. Layer via cut. Oh. Maybe a cut. Uh-oh. Why is it? I don't get it. I don't get why it's doing that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking correctly. You're gonna have to go back and click on the actual bird layer that's on the inside. I had a brain fart there. I'm sorry. Control click merge layers, click back on the bird layer because I messed that up earlier. Cut the rest of this out. My window's freaking out next to me. I'm not quite sure what's going on. There. down, and there. Make selection, okay. Marquee tool, layer via, oh, I hit layer via copy. Layer via cut. You can also do this if it's if you want to merge the layer right underneath the layer that you want to merge with. You can just hit right click without having to control click and hit merge down. That's actually that's really quick to just when you're working on something you want to get it done quick and stuff like that. So that all that helps. This one's a bit weird. I'm gonna zoom in all the way. That just makes it a little bit harder to see everything, in my opinion. Okay, so make selection. Okay, marquee tool, right click, layer via cut, merge down. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Now, a few other tutorials will show you that you can use this, the magic wand tool. But I honestly do not recommend using the magic wand tool. Because see, it selects everything for you, but a lot of times it'll select what you don't want. So if we just went ahead and do that, it would go inside. It would actually go into the bird layer. I know that doesn't make a big difference, but if you're cutting out something like really big, and you try to do it like that, it really won't do well. What I did, just right there, it'll probably start off with a quick selection. You can, if it's got this little arrow next to the icon, you can hold it and then it'll bring you up a few more options. Oh, the type tool. I don't know why it does that. My computer is really, really slow. It's probably the only reason why it has to initialize me using the type tool. But okay, so you go back. People use the quick selection. I really don't, because it's basically just like the magic wand tool, but it does all that. I didn't even use it that correctly, did I? Oh, I don't know how to use it then. Oh well. Yeah, so never mind. Just don't worry about these in particular. I'll get into that later. Okay, so we're gonna come back in, and even this little slim thing, it'll make a big difference. The little things in design are what make the big things stand out and look really, really good. Okay, so now that we have everything, cut out and selected, we have our bird, and it's just the bird, no little blue outline. We cut it out pretty well. I'm proud of you guys because you cut it out really, really well. So now this is what I do. Okay, some people, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but some people drag one of the layers in and then put everything in, and this is what I've seen people do. Just doing this real quick, I'll explain what I'm doing here in a second. And then they'll just put everything. They'll put the actual layer like they want first, but then they won't go back and then they'll go back and grab it, and then they'll have to line everything back up. What I do, I'll control. Don't merge the layers, but just keep them separate layers, and grab the move tool, come up here, and drag and drop like you did. And then this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. You want to pay a lot of attention right here. You want to get this where you want it. You're gonna want to size it down though. You're gonna come up here to the very corner, any of the corners. It doesn't really matter. And instead of just dragging it down, and you see how it'll mess up the proportions a lot. You can come back up here and hit that if you mess something up, or if you don't like it how it is. You're gonna want to hold Shift. You're gonna hold Shift and then bring it down, and you see how it stays proportional. When before it was just everywhere. So you want to keep holding Shift. You don't want to let go of Shift until you let go of your click. So you want to get it. You're gonna want to get it where you like it. I'm gonna get it about right there. Right there looks good. You're gonna hit the check mark, or you can hit Enter. Either way. why this is taking. Okay, I'm gonna move this over a bit just so it fills the. There we go. Okay, now you're gonna want to put it in front of the phase logo. Put this behind. You're gonna right click and make sure that your background layer is right on top of the phase logo. You're gonna hit create clipping mask, and what that does, it's gonna basically just shape everything in proportion to what is under it. So you see how that's all like that, and that's just because I made that a bit invisible. Okay, so now what you're gonna want to do. This kind of just looks like, you know, you just slapped it on top. But what you're gonna want to I can't speak today, guys. I'm sorry. What you're going to want to do. This is a really important hotkey. We're gonna hit Control, hold Control, and hit J. Press them at the same time, and it'll duplicate whatever layer or layers that you have selected. So you're gonna go back and create clipping mask to that one as well. And you see that it does that. I'm not quite sure why that did that, but oh well. It's fine. Actually, yes, I do. There's a drop shadow to the phase logo that I'll fix that. Yeah, I'll fix it real quick. I'll add my own. So like whenever you want to like deselect something or just erase everything, the pen tool works best. Basically, you just want to go back around the logo. I'm gonna do this right now. Actually, I didn't realize that that would be such a big deal. I'm gonna make that invisible just so it's a little bit easier to see. And normally you wouldn't have to do this, but the PSD that I downloaded had a drop shadow on it, and it didn't have option to take it off. It was just a flat render. So we're gonna go all the way around the logo again. Okay, now we're gonna click inside again, and we're gonna do the same thing. Make selection. Hit OK. I'm gonna go back up to the marquee tool, and we're gonna right click, and instead of like hitting delete, which will delete everything on the inside, or layer cut or copy or anything like that, we're going to want to select inverse, and what that's going to do, that's just going to select everything outside of what we selected. So we're going to hit backspace, and that took off the little drop shadow that we had. That's actually really effective. And see, now it's not, before it was all blended and stuff, and it didn't look very good. So now that we have this, you have your layer 2. We're gonna call this clipping bird. That says bird. There we go. And then space. All right. So now that we have pop out bird. Okay. Just to give you guys a visual example, we have the space background to it in relevance to the phase logo because it's clipping masked. We have the bird that is clipping masked because it's clipping masked and it's relevant to the phase logo. These little eyes, it just invisible. That does all that. So what I personally do, I'll click on the bird that I want to, that's going to be popping out of the logo. Okay, so we're gonna come up here. We're gonna drop the opacity to about 50. Let's go 50. And you see, it gives you that little effect of like it'll, it's kind of like fading out. So then what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to click on your eraser tool, or E is the hotkey. You're gonna all these erasers, tools, and brushes and stuff. What you're gonna want to use is the soft round, which is the first one, or you can use the hard round. They're all these are pretty much the same thing. You're going to raise the size a little bit, or as much as you would like. Soft, it see how it kind of like fades into an erase. does all that, and a hard will erase the whole thing. So I'm going to use the hard, actually, just to do it quicker. Anyway, you're pretty much just going to want to erase everything on the bottom. This is how I do it. You're going to want to erase everything on the bottom of the logo just to see how it pops. You see how it pops out now? Then you want to go to raise the opacity again, and then it's all popped out. Now the phase logo is different. The phase logo is a bit weird. You're going to want to make everything invisible, and how I did that just now is I clicked on one of them, and then I just dragged up, and it, it's basically, it like selects everything. Now what people do with the phase logo, I normally don't do this just because I don't usually use the phase logo a lot. What people do, they'll go into red, and they'll get it correct. Let me put that right there. They'll go all around the red part of the logo because it is a 3D. It is a 3D logo, and it has all the 3D aspects to it and stuff. What people do, I normally don't do this with a logo, but I mean, it's kind of the standard now, I guess. I'm gonna go all the way around the logo. Make sure it's like really straight. This one, it makes a big deal, especially on the phase logo, just because it's not just because it's phase, it's just because the logo is a little weird. Or at least the render that they use in the PSDs are a little weird. But they look good. They do. Okay. So once you're done going all the way around the logo, you're gonna want to make selection. Okay. Then you're gonna want to select inverse like we did before. And what this is gonna do, this is going to, if we just erased all this right here, it's going to erase all the black. But if we come back up here and we select all this, and then we clicked on each one of these and hit delete, so I'm going to do that right now. Actually, no, not the pop-up bird, not the pop-up bird. Don't do the pop-up bird. We're going to do the background. Yeah, we're going to do the background, and it gives it like the actual 3D. Well, I guess that really doesn't matter. What other people do, they'll put it on linear dodge, or they'll put it on overlay? No, not overlay. The phase guys, whoever made this is weird, because they did it really. They made the 3D render, and then they added a gradient and a few effects to it, but didn't yeah. So I'm gonna just find whatever category or display style. I can't remember exactly what word this is, but that's normal, and that's normal. But I'm probably just gonna keep it normal just for the sake of this tutorial. Raise the opacity back to the pop-up bird, and then something's happening. Okay, there we go. Then your pop-out is done. Okay, so that's the actual logo itself. That's the actual the physical logo. I know a few people don't really do it like this. Like people go around the red logo like I did earlier, but I don't do that. I would recommend you doing it, but I don't know why. I'm just not. It's just I really don't use the phase logo a lot, so I don't really worry about it. So then what you're gonna do, you're gonna come back down to your text. All this is gonna be all like that. You want to grab the text tool, come down here, and then highlight everything. Make sure that the two little notice how there's the little box around it, the little box. Make sure whenever you're selecting your text that it does not have that little box, or it'll make a whole new layer, a whole new text layer, and we don't want that. So, okay, so make sure it doesn't have a little box around it. Go, and, select everything, and then just put whatever name you want. Just do tutorial. I'm gonna center that. That's pretty straight, I guess. Yeah, so that's pretty straight. Okay, and then you're gonna want to come down here, and these are your blending effects. To bring up your blending effects, you click not on the actual word itself, because that's just gonna bring up your, you know, the renaming. You're gonna click on like more or less like the right margin, like kind of like in this general area, and then it'll bring up this this layer style and the blending options. The way that this text is set up, it was already set up for us. It had a stroke, gradient overlay, and a drop shadow on it. I will show you what it looks like without everything. Okay, so that's what it looks like without everything. The drop shadow, it adds a little like a shadow behind it, basically. The gradient overlay, it gives it a gradient basically just means fade. And the way this is set up, it looks fine the way it is. And then they added a stroke, which is the overlay, not the overlay, the outline to everything. So that's all fine. So this is how I do my my text and everything like that. So take everything that we clipping masked, that's actual everything, not the stuff that we erase, because then it's gonna look weird. We're gonna Control J. We're gonna bring it down, and we're gonna clipping mask everything back onto the actual thing. And you notice how when we drag it over, you see the little box, it's not there. That's because of the gradient overlay on it. The gradient and the color overlay, and I believe the pattern overlay, it all like it'll basically just cancel out anything that you have on top of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the gradient overlay, or actually let's see what it looks like. Put it on overlay. Okay, so if you come up here to the blend mode in the gradient overlay, you can put it on normal, and you know that'll just be normal. But anything other than normal is basically just gonna give you a different blend. You can pick whatever one you like. I personally like overlay, just because it makes it look pretty good. So, oops. Okay, highlight everything and then kind of make everything to where it's like it kind of matches to the logo. I mean, you see how it's see how like it just doesn't match. You kind of want to make it match the actual logo. It just makes it look better, in my opinion. And then we're gonna do all that. You don't have to do it exactly this way. You can take that off and then just like put that like in the middle or something. You can do pretty much whatever you like. It's all about your creativeness. But what I'm gonna do for the sake of the tutorial, I'm gonna clipping mask it and just move it over, just cause. Make sure there's not a lot of black. No, it's fine. Okay, I'm actually gonna come back in here and add a little bit of an inner shadow. Drop the opacity a little bit, up the distance and up the choke, just to give it, it gives it an inner shadow, like it just said. Yeah, I'm actually gonna raise the drop shadow a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we're pretty much done with the text. What's this? Inner glow. No, that doesn't look good. And I also do this. This is more of my style. But I know a lot of people that do this. They'll take the whole thing again, and then they will size it back up. Give that a second. They'll size it back up. They'll put it like kind of in relevance to the logo, and I hit. Okay, and I'll hit the check. There we go. Hit the check that time. And then we're gonna merge layers, and then go to filter, blur, You can do pretty much any blur in here, but Gaussian, however you want to say it, just looks best in my opinion. And you're kind of gonna like raise the radius to whatever you like, really. I'm gonna do 19.6. That looks pretty nice. And you notice how it kind of like fades into that. You can just move this over, and then it'll you can distinguish it more. Or you can actually come up. Oh, move this over there. There we go. Okay, and you can come back over here and do the layer style again on the phase logo. You can add a stroke to it. Add an not an outer glow. Drop shadow. Actually, drop shadow looks good on pretty much anything. I'm gonna raise that quite a bit. Probably not the distance so much. Drop the opacity, and we're gonna put it on overlay, and that kind of pops it a bit. Actually, I'm not gonna put it on overlay. Let's see. I'm gonna see how that looks. You can do that. I mean, I'll probably get into the blending mode specifics probably in a later tutorial if this does well. But pretty much that's it. There's the stroke. You can up the stroke a little bit, which I'm gonna do just a tad, and then make it white. No, like a nope. Normally you want to do it like just a straight black or a straight white. You can also add outer glow, inner glow, inner shadow, color overlay, gradient overlay, which I don't really recommend. A satin, which I don't really recommend at all either. Take off the inner glow, take off the inner shadow. Outer glow I can keep. I'm gonna turn that a little bit white. And it gives it the glow on the outside, like it says. I'm gonna drop that. Okay. Just to make it like distinguish it a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna take the outer glow off. That doesn't look very good. Move this over to your liking. I'm gonna grab everything again. Remember to shift click if you're gonna grab a handful of stuff. And I'm just gonna put it like down here just for the tutorial. Normally you want to like put it like in the center, but just for the tutorial I'm gonna do it like that. So yeah, guys, that's how to start doing AVIs. You can also this is my method. This is my technique. There's many ways to do a lot of things that I just explained. But there are more PSDs, more clan logos, and all this other great jazz that I will include in the description. I'll add everything that you see in the description, the font, the picture I used, and the PSD. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. It's been Grin. It's been fun. Peace, guys. Have swag. That wasn't so bad. How long was that? Was it an hour? That was like an hour. I'm gonna die, dude. That was an hour. That was an hour long, dude. Jesus Christ.